Welcome to the first lecture of this section. We are going to know what is NX and what is Monorepo. Let's start first with Monorepo. The meaning of Monorepo as a word is divided to two words. First, mono, which means alone or single, repo, which is repository, like a GitHub repository, where we are storing our code. And Monorepo is a software development strategy where code for many projects is stored in the same repository. So as you see here, we have here App 1, App 2, and App 3. And those applications are all in the same repository, which is under the company name. In addition, we see that these applications are sharing some libraries. So Monorepo is one repository, multiple projects, and shared libraries. And of course, every application has its own components or own modules. This is the general definition of Monorepo. Okay, who is using Monorepo in general? The most famous companies like Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Uber, and Airbnb and Twitter are using nowadays Monorepo. For example, Google Monorepo is considered to be the largest in the world. And it's also called as the ultra large scale system and must be handled by tens of thousands of contributions every day in the repository with the size of over than 80 terabytes. Okay, why Monorepo? Why it's that so important? What are the advantages of Monorepo? First, ease of code reuse. As we will see later in our real-world example, we will see how we are using modules again in multiple applications. Another feature is simplified dependency management, which is in a multiple repository environment where multiple projects depend on third-party dependency. That dependency might be downloaded or built multiple times. So I need to download the library for every project. But in a Monorepo, the build can be easily optimized. So we can see that the reference or the external libraries can be downloaded one time for multiple projects, as we will see in the next points. The third feature of Monorepo is atomic commits. Atomic commits, which means synchronization between the dependencies. So when there is some update comes for one of the library, all projects will get notified and they will get that update. And also collaboration across the teams. So we are talking here about multiple projects. So we have multiple teams and the collaboration across multiple teams will be more improved when they are going all in the same way by using the same libraries or the same shared libraries. And the most important part, single package JSON policy. So for example, when you are using NPM or Node Packaging Management System, then you will have one single package JSON. So you don't have for every project a separated node modules folder. And in that way, you are saving a lot of space. Okay, after we saw the advantages, let's move to cons. So, of course, every technology or every software development method has some cons. First one is maintaining the configurations. So always when we have multiple projects with different configuration, we will have a problem when some update comes. So we need to maintain all the configurations after every library update which is shared among the projects. The second point is coordinating a release process. The same thing that release process can become complicated as the knowledge of what components must be released relies on the development team. The third disadvantage is setting up the entire project. Setting up the project locally might take a long time to each component has its own README and it has multiple variations. So when we have a new project set up, we need again to link all the dependencies to that project So we will feel like more time consuming to set up the entire project. Okay, after that, let's see what is NX. NX is a monorepo and is a dev tools. And we can say it's TypeScript-based monorepo tool, which is built on top of Angular DevKit, CLI and Schematics. Also, it works also with another technologies as we will see later. It also provides a workspace, CLI, and a cloud-based computation caching, and a great language level IDE support. NX was created by Angular team at Google, and then the core members decided to start a new company called Nrwl providing NX toolchain. So when you check the NX website, you will see it's provided by Nrwl. Again, let's see why NX is good or why we need NX. NX provide tools to give you the benefits of a monorepo without the drawbacks of symbol called collocation. So I don't need to set up the monorepo manually. There are tools or commands which help me in NX to create all the project setup without doing any creation file by hand. Also, NX providing a faster command execution. As I told you, NX is a file structure, so I don't need to create the files manually. I don't want to create component in Angular manually. So by a command, I do a faster command execution to generate the component and its stats file and the styles. And also it's controlled code sharing. So when I'm creating a library, it's shared and controlled by everyone who is member of those projects inside the applications. NX providing accurate architecture diagram. And this diagram, it's showing you the dependency between the libraries and the applications and circular dependency if you have them, and fixing all the loops which are leading to circular. And it has also a great CLI. We will see it in the next lectures. And the most important feature that when you are building a project or testing it, it will not take you so much time because it will test only what is changed. So it will test only the affected files which you changed. So this is also good for development. You will not need to have whole build again or whole test again. You will have access to the Git repository by NX, and it will do for you only the affected or changed files. Finally, let's see what is supporting NX. The following technologies like Angular, React, and Node.js are the frameworks where NX support. So you can use NX with Angular projects, React, and Node.js. You can have also a project or repository that all of these frameworks sharing one library or multiple libraries. In the next lecture, we will see a real-world example about NX.